Welcome, folks. In this video, I want to take some sales data. I have a sales data here, 999 rows of data. You can see here I have 1,000 rows, and I've got this data. I want to be able to analyze it and put some summary information about my sales rep, my years, my states, brands, and so forth, and summarize some of the data. So let's get started, and let's create a new sheet. And we're going to call this sheet our summary. And what we're going to do is build a set of queries here. Let's start with our first query. Equals query. And our data, we've already set up a sales data named range. So we're going to start with sales and our select statement, and we're going to select column C, and we're going to also want to insert a comma, and then we're going to do the sum of column F. Let's see what that does for us. And we see that we get an error, and that's because when we use an aggregation, we need to group by. So we're going to group by, and I've got to spell it correct, group by, in this case, C. And now we have a list of sales rep and the sum of their sales. But I don't feel like I'm finished with that. I want to order this by, I want to sort it by the sum of F. And that way, now I've got the ascending order. So I don't really want that. I really want my top one, or my highest to be at the top, so I'm going to sort that descending. That's looking a little better. But now, what I'd really like to do is clean this up. I'm going to have to format that into currency. So let's go ahead and add the format clause. We're going to format the sum of F, and we're going to format sum F with a single quote, and we want it to be $00. I will just do 3 zeros. And we have to end with a single quote. Let's see what that does for us. Oh, we're missing a comma. So again, what we really want is dollar. Let's say we have 0,000. Let's see what that does for us. There we go. So now I've got my currency formatted all within the formula. But I don't like the way it says sum sales, so I want to put a label on that. And the order that you have to do this, you have to check the order. This would have to be label sum F, and we want label of sum F to be sales. Well, let's just do total sales. And we have to close that out. And now when we hit enter, we have the sales rep and their total sales. Now that we have that data and that formula, we can copy this formula. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I can skip a column, and I'm going to paste my formula in again. Well, it's going to give me the same information, but this time I want it to summarize by the next column. So it's going to be D and group by D. And in this case, now I'm getting same data. I've already formatted it, I've put in my label, but now I'm getting a descending order of my state. So we can take the same information, copy that, and let's skip a column, let's paste. And in this case, we're going to do E, because I want to see what my brands are doing. So group by E, and there's my branding. So To make this look a little nicer, I think I'll go ahead and turn off the grid lines. And now I'm starting to look like I have a little bit of a dashboard that is going to show me some of this data. I could, in this case, go ahead and make that bold. It looks like I don't have a constant font, so I'm going to fix that up, and maybe I'll even make that a little bit bigger. So there we go, looking a little better. And I think we'll go ahead and lock this top row. And finally, I would like to include, the total sales. So this is another query, and our data is sales, and then we need to write our select statement. We're going to select SUMF. Up. And let's go ahead and finish that out and see what we get. Well, we get the sum sales, and again, we're missing a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up with my label. So we're going to label that. We're going to label SUMF. And in this case, we want it to be total sales. And we've got to spell it correctly. Let's see what we get with that. So now I have total sales, so the only thing that's missing is my format. Quickest way for me to grab that is to go ahead and grab this data. I already have that, so I can copy it, and then I can come back and let's get that formatted the way we'd like, and paste, and that should do it. And now we have our total sales. Now we'll clean up this a little bit. I can put a narrower column between the different lists here, and go ahead and do that. And now I have the start of a nice list on a dashboard that's showing me my information. I might want to clean this up a little bit more. One last thing I'd like to add in here is a summary by month and year. So equals query, and our data sales, and in this case we're going to select, and we're going to use the month of A. It's going to extract the month, and we want the sum of F. And when we use the aggregate data, we need to group by. So we're going to group by month A. Let's see what that gets us. Well, good. Now we have the month of A, but notice the month starts with a 0. So, and I want to pivot the data, and I want to see, I want to actually see by year. So we're going to pivot B. And now we have some nice data. Again, the last thing I would want to do is clean up some formatting of this. So we would need to label month A, and we want to label it month. And we cleaned that up. And then I guess the last thing, of course, would be to do the formatting again. So we can come here to any one of our things that where we've already typed in the format formula. I'm going to grab that, come down, and let's format this data. We will stick it right here, and we should be able to clean that up. And now we should have the data that should give us a summary of those years. I think the next step on that is just to clean up one last thing. We really want to change this to the months that make sense to us. And so when I do that, that doesn't work. Month A plus 1, so we have to group by month A plus 1. I believe it's this label month A because I think that needs to be plus 1. And there we go. So now we've got our data the way we want. We could finish out with some of our formatting. I think what I'd like to do is go ahead and center all these, and I would like to go ahead and make them bold, maybe make them 11 like we did the others. And then one thing I like to often do is highlight this set of data and go ahead and turn it black, highlight the text white. Same thing here. And again, I want to center these. Up they are centered. Go ahead and let's do the same thing. Make this black and make the text white. So now I have a data set that summarizes by sales rep, by state, by brand, and by total sales, and by month and year. And looks like we have to widen something out here. And there we should have it.